Today I'm just going to be doing my natural makeup routine. It's kind of funny because I have this whole channel based on natural and wearable makeup, but I don't even have my own personal kind of everyday routine. So this is not going to be a minimal makeup routine. I do have more of a minimal style makeup video that you can watch here. My name's Karina if you're new, and if you like natural makeup, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into the video. I'm religious about sunscreen, so I've already put my sunscreen on. I use the one by Supergoop. I think it's called Play All Day, and I'll link that down below. But I always like to start with Fix Plus. I always like to start and end with Fix Plus just because I really feel like it gives you that extra layer of hydration. And because I do have dry skin, it's just really nice. For my everyday natural makeup, I do kind of stick to like a certain technique and like stick to a few products. But I have to admit for my foundation, I'm in like a constant rotation. It just depends how much coverage I feel like wearing that day. Kind of like wearing a different foundation all the time. Right now, the ones that I've been reaching for the most are my Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which is more of like medium coverage. It's probably my top favorite right now. And then also the Morphe Hint Skin Tint, which is like more of a skin tint, so it's a lot lighter in coverage, and it's a gorgeous product too. Now this might seem a little high maintenance for an everyday routine, but for me it's more so about the skin and the glow than it is about anything else. So I'm going to use my Hollywood Flawless Filter. I use this in a lot of my videos. I love this product. So I'm just going to put it directly on my skin, and I do just kind of concentrate it onto the cheeks, and then I'll just go down the bridge of my nose. And then I'm going to spray my brush with some Fix Plus. This is just a foundation brush by Morphe. And then I just like to kind of get it wet so that it blends the product out a little bit more easily. And then all I do is just buff that out into my skin. By the time you layer foundation on over top, it's like that perfect amount of glow. So I'm going to use my Armani Luminous Silk Foundation today. It's like a satin finish, but like a really glowy kind of healthy satin finish. So I'll put a couple pumps on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to take that same brush and start to buff that into my skin. I bought this color in 5.75, which means that I can only use it when I have my tan on. So I do use tanning products. If you watch my other videos, you'll probably know that. So when I'm nice and like glowy and tanned, then that's when I can use this foundation. When I'm doing my makeup every day, I always like to start with a brush because it's a lot quicker for me. But then I always like to go in with a damp beauty sponge and just kind of quickly run over everything and make sure that it's nice and seamless. Next, I'm gonna do a little bit of concealing. I'm gonna use the Born This Way concealer, which is probably one of my favorite concealers. It's just really hydrating. This is in the color Nude, and I don't like very much concealer. I like to put a little bit more like in the center of my face, cover my blemishes, and that's it. So just a few dots here and up here. And then I always use my finger to put it, to tap it in. I guess because my eyes are a lot more deep set and my ring finger fits like perfectly into my eye socket, whereas the sponge, especially if it's a larger sponge than this, it's kind of harder to blend it out. So once I've kind of got majority of it blended out, whatever is left on my ring finger, I'll just run it on my eyelids as well. I don't want a lot of product up there, but I just want everything to look even in color. Then finally I'll take my beauty sponge, and that's when I'll go back and just blend it out. And then I'll just take that and conceal little blemishes where I see them, and that's it. For powder, I probably use my translucent powder the most often. This is the RCA one. I can never remember if it's RCA or RCMA. But anyway, I'll link that down below as well. For my under eyes, I'm going to just dip that right into the powder. I don't have too much product on there, like I'll even tap a little bit of that off. And then I just like to set my under eye with the powder. And then when we go in at the end and spray again with Fix Plus, it'll all look really, like, it'll all come together really nicely. It won't look powdery or anything, but I find that this is the best technique to really prevent the concealer from creasing. And then for the rest of the face, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish and just like a fluffy kind of duo fiber brush. And then I'll just run that over the rest of my face just so that everything is pretty set. I'm just going to take a smaller eye blending brush and really powder with my eyelids too, just so that the small amount of concealer that I put on my eyes doesn't crease. For bronzer, my everyday bronzer that I use is this Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and then I've got this nice big fluffy brush by Jaclyn Hill. And I love this brush for bronzing because it's kind of flat, but it's still big and fluffy, so you can get the job done really quickly. And all I do is just push that right over my cheeks, starting at the top of my ear and kind of working my way down. And then I do my forehead. And then I also just sweep it onto my jawline like that. Nothing precise. And then I always take it down my neck. When it's my everyday makeup, I do switch up my blush quite often, but the one I reach for the most often is the Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duo. And this is in the shade Warm Honey. And I just really love it because it's not too peachy, it's not too pink. It just has like a little bit of brown in it, so it's more of like a dusty kind of peach. And it just really suits my skin tone, and I think it's really pretty. So I do use that a lot. But there's another combo that I've been using for my everyday makeup, and I really, really like it. And that's using the Mineralized Powder by MAC in Humor Me, and it's just like a neutral kind of bronzy color, but it has a little bit more pink in it than like the butter bronzer. And then mixing that with my Milk cream blush in Work. I just have a blush brush, pick up a little bit of that and kind of sweep that over my cheeks. And this is just gonna bring like warmth and life to my cheeks. And then I'll put that on my nose as well. Then I'm just going to take this short duo fiber by MAC. This is their 130S. And then I just pick that product up right from the tube or the bullet or the container. And then I put that right on top of where I just applied the Humor Me by MAC. And I think that the mixture or the combination of this is so pretty. It still gives you warmth to your cheek, like you still get that rosy kind of flush, which for an everyday natural makeup look you kind of want. But then combined with the Humor Me, it's perfect. It's not too rosy, it's just like a bronzy rosy. So I've just really, really been loving that combination. I bring that onto my nose as well. And then for my everyday makeup, I do not put eyeshadow on, but I do just take whatever's left over on my brush and kind of run it in my eye socket. No precision, I just literally just kind of do that. So I've got like a little bit of color in there, and it kind of ties in with my makeup, so it's not just like a blank kind of bright eyelid. So I just have this like subtle glow going on, which is all I want. I'm not going to put any highlight on my cheek, but I do like to highlight the center of my face a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit on my nose, so the tip and the bridge, and then I do a little bit on my chin and my Cupid's bow. My skin's all done, so I'm going to spray again with MAC Fix Plus. For my eyebrows, I don't do much. I try to keep it as quick as possible because I hate doing my eyebrows. Basically, I just fill in this very bottom kind of corner. I have my eyebrows microbladed. There's a couple little gaps in there, so all I do is take a brow pencil and fill in those gaps. And then I do extend the tail just a little bit. And then I do set with the spiking glue. It's just a clear glue. So I kind of just run that in with my finger so that I don't put too much product on there. And then I just take a clean spoolie and brush my hairs up, kind of like up and over, because I don't want them to be like too straight. If any of you have used the Anastasia Brow Freeze, please comment below and let me know if you like it. All I do is curl my lashes and put a little bit of mascara on. Actually, not a little bit, a lot. As far as mascaras go, right now I'm kind of doing like a L'Oreal versus Maybelline test. I've used L'Oreal mascaras for years and years, and they're really, really good. So the Lash Paradise is probably my favorite because it gives me the most volume. And lately I've been using the Air Volume Mega Mascara, which I find pretty much almost the same as the Lash Paradise. The problem with the L'Oreal mascaras is that they don't flake, which is great, but they also like leave smudge marks. But I kind of remembered I used the Falsies mascara by Maybelline for quite a number of years, actually, years ago, and I didn't remember it smudging on the bottom lashes as much. So I've been trying that lately, and it doesn't smudge as much as the L'Oreal one. And then lately I've heard really good things about this, the Lash Sensational by Maybelline. So I'm testing that right now. So I'm going to use that in my video, but I really would love to know what your favorite drugstore mascaras are. I typically only buy drugstore mascara because I feel like that's one area where you just really don't need high end. Now lips is definitely variable for me. If I'm truly just doing my everyday makeup routine, I typically don't wear a lipstick, but I do love lip balms, especially tinted lip balms. So the product that I've probably used the most, even throughout my whole life, I've gone through a few of these tubes and I need another one, is the Sugar lip balms or tinted lip balms. Sugar Fresh, and this one is in the color Rose. It looks like this, but all of the print is worn off. Looks like that, and it's just a tint. It's just a balm with a tint to it. So it just gives me a little bit of color so that I don't look washed out, but it's so comfortable to wear, and it's really hydrating, so it's just like a perfect product. I love that one. If I feel like taking it to just like one step above, then I'll use a lip liner, and the Naked 2 Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On is just a really nice natural color. I don't line my whole lip. All I do is line the center of my lip. So I'll just kind of line my Cupid's bow and a little bit on the bottom. It just brings out the edges a little bit more. So if I have any foundation there, I put a little bit of liner on so that my lips are at like their full potential, which for me isn't very much because I just have small lips. So this is my everyday makeup routine pretty much. I do switch things up a little bit like I said, but for the most part it kind of stays the same. It's honestly pretty quick to do. I would say about 15 minutes. When I'm on camera, of course, things take longer because I talk a lot, but yeah, it's a really quick and easy routine. Let me know what you think. Is this more like high maintenance compared to your everyday makeup routine, or is it a little bit more simple than your everyday routine? I would love to know. And again, if you are into natural makeup looks, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have 2 videos that come out every single week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.
It's a strange affection. It's too much to ask for. It's too much to ask.